Hi everyone, it's Dan here from Flexxable and welcome to day 2. Today we've got 2 things we want to achieve. The first one is I'm going to show you how to demo our Sleeping Beauty Android to clients and close them without having to build a thing, okay? And this is one of the most important things that I want to tell you: sell first and build later. Sell first, build later. I promise you, it'll light a fire up your bum and you're just going to go absolutely berserk with the number of clients you're going to land if you do this, okay? So please don't procrastinate. I'm going to jump on with my tech guy, Graham Connolly, and what we're going to do is we're going to show you how to run through and build your engine, which is HighLevel. It's going to show you, this is the platform that shows you how to send SMS and eventually connects to ChatGPT, which allows the whole thing to run. So HighLevel is a very important part of the process, and we're going to get you set up today so we can connect all the pieces tomorrow. Okay, so without further ado, I'm going to take a little bit of pre-built footage here that I've done, and I'm going to show you how we can demo to this client exactly how you can copy and paste the prompt and get started and start having coffee dates right away. Let's start in. Hi everyone, I'm here with Jamie Woods. Jamie, how you doing?
Good.
Good stuff, mate. Well, Jamie was the one, basically is my tech team and has had a massive part to play in building the Sleeping Beauty Android and everything that goes with it. It's been amazing, and he's Mr. AI, we call him. So yeah, thanks for helping me out here, mate. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to do a role play, and you're going to be the agency and I'm going to be a solar client, okay? And we'll just run through this quickly. I'm going to show you before we role play how we kind of we set this up so we can do it in the OpenAI playground without building a bot, without doing any kind of building at all before we get started. I'm going to show you how to use a little extension which hides the screen and makes it look like our own custom kind of area. Okay, so, and we also hide the prompt. So let's dive in, and then we'll change over to the role play mode. So in order to do this, you need an OpenAI account, which most of you will have by now. And then what you want to do when you log in is go down to the playground section, which is here. And you want to put the name Sarah in here, which is Sarah's the one we always use. And then you want to copy and paste the prompt from this prompt document that we've given you below this video. Okay, so there's 5 niches in here, but we've also got a custom one down the bottom here, which is the one that you can do for any niche, basically. So you can change the yellow bits yourself. The pink bits, Jamie, what are they again?
That's the field within Zapier. It's a dynamic field. I think Graham's going in on it on another video.
Yeah, we'll teach you how to do all that. But basically, you've got to change the yellow bits if you want to change the niches. Otherwise, just copy and paste if you're in one of these niches or in solar or whatever. For today, we're just going to go after the solar and demo that quickly. And I'm going to show you once you copy and paste this in. So you go down here. Obviously, you change the yellow bits, copy it here, go into change the bits, paste it in here, change the yellow bits, paste it in here, then you've got it all here, right? Now, the other thing is that we don't want the client to see all of this stuff going on in the background, right? So what I want you to do is download the StyleBot extension. I'm going to close this now. And once you've downloaded it, you've got it in your toolbar, you can go in here and then go open StyleBot, okay? After you do that, you scroll down to visibility, and you can hide a section, right? So we hide this section here, we select it, and then we go hide. And as you can see, it disappears here, which means all of your intellectual property is completely protected, because your prompt is key in making the Sleeping Beauty Android work. So I'm going to pass it over to Jamie now, and Jamie's going to take over and we're going to do a role play. I'm going to be called Solar UK Limited or something, Jamie.
Yeah.
So my business, I'm the owner of Solar UK Limited, and Jamie's an agency just like you, trying to sell me database activation with AI.
So Dan, before we get into this demo, what you need to know is an SMS is sent out, and we call it the Prince Charming hand raiser. What it does is it gives your database basically the kiss of life. Very simple formula. It just says, "Hi, it's Sarah from Solar UK Limited. Is that the same Jamie who inquired about solar panels on Wednesday?" Or if it's very old data, we could, change that to, back in December. And what that does is just kind of piques their interest while kind of revealing a little bit, about why we're messaging them.
Okay, so this is like I have 8,000 people in my database that I've accumulated over the years. Um, I've pretty much given up on all of those leads. I've got them dialed. So you're basically saying that you want to send this SMS out to all of those 8,000 people, right?
Yeah, eventually. What we typically do is we start with about 100 leads a day. Once we
Yeah.
start seeing that we're getting a good result and that you're happy that your team is, reacting to the new inquiries coming through, we'll scale it up to the full 8,000, as fast as, your team can, take those new inquiries on. So what happens next is after we send that SMS message out, you know, a lead who's interested might respond and they would say, yes, it is, just confirming their name. So you'll see this message is sent out now, and the AI is going to have a little think in the background. It might take a few seconds for us to have a think and come up with a result, but we'll just have to wait whilst that happens. Just see right
Oh,
now, it's got this circle here, which just says it's thinking.
so how, like, obviously, if it's AI, we wouldn't want people to be SMSing. Like, if it's a bot, we want people to know that it's like a human or think that it's a human, right? So,
Hmm.
like, I don't want SMSs coming. It's like unnatural for things to happen very quickly, right? Like, is that going to be a problem?
So it's not a problem. What we do is we add a bit of a small wait in between the message being generated and us actually sending that message out to people. So we had
Yeah.
about a minute to 2 minute wait in between, them responding and the AI actually sending that message.
All right. Cool. Oh, what we got here?
So this is the first message which the AI sends back when they confirm that we have the right person. It was thank goodness my calendar just pinged me to call, but I didn't want to disturb you. Are you still looking into solar?
Okay.
What
Uh,
we're doing here is we're actually reframing them for a phone call later on down the line. You'll notice that we've said, my calendar just pinged me to call. So the lead at this point is aware that we're looking to give them a call.
I
Say,
love
I
it.
didn't want to disturb you. And are you still looking into solar?
I
So
love it because we dial ours like 12 times, like on the first 3 days with our dialing system. And we get about 50% contact rate. So anything outside of that 50% is, I mean, if you can get responses, then awesome. What type of response rates are you looking at?
so response rates for this, it ranges for on average is about 30%, depending on how old the data is. If it's ancient, then obviously it's going to drop off a little bit. But I'd say anywhere between within the last 2 years, it's achievable to get a 30% response rate.
Wow. And can you do this with bought lists as well, rather than opted in lists, or like I can get my hands on bought lists?
We can, but we wouldn't recommend it. You're going to get really bad results, and then there's obviously the compliance in it. People will respond, but you're kind of on the back foot when you're going after this data. We'd always
I
just
see.
recommend going after your typical web leads, whether that's Facebook, Google, YouTube, just people who already know you.
Awesome. Okay. All right. What's next? Can I answer some questions here, because I don't, you could be like totally manipulating this, right?
Yeah, absolutely. What we're going to do is we're going to go through this as a perfect client first, and then once we've done that, I'm going to let you try and test and break it.
Okay. Okay. Fair.
So it says, are you still looking into solar? And we're just going to say, yes, I'm still interested in solar. And the AI is basically going to ask a couple of questions. So it might be similar to the stuff you already have in your lead form, or it might be motivation-based questions. So obviously, because we're in the UK, we add a little bit of we try and make it look like a real person is talking to them. That's why it's saying smashing right now.
Mm. It's a
So
bit smashing is not really what my sales team would say, right? It sounds a bit informal in a way.
totally get it. This is just a demo, and really all we're looking to do right now is just kind of show you what it's capable of doing. It can be as formal as you want it or as informal as possible. Some of our other clients do actually like the informal approach, but if you're
Okay.
looking to be more formal, we can definitely
Okay.
work on that.
Well,
Can you tell me what your average monthly utility bill is looking like? And we would say something like it's about £100 per month and expensive. So just thinking, I reckon that does feel a bit steep. Well, the good news is that we can help you reduce those costs and we'll make sure to beat any market price out there. Would you like to schedule a call back to discuss this further? So what we're looking to do is only ask a few questions. We're just looking to see that they're still interested in solar, get them to maybe feel the pain about the electricity bills that they're paying right now. And then what we're looking to do is arrange a time. It's all well and good having a conversation, but without that action, we need this to turn into a sale for you. So if I was to respond yes with this right now, it would send out a link to your website for them to book into a calendar. We can also do this conversationally, but a lot of people just do prefer the link right now.
okay.
Do that though. Are there any questions you want to kind of throw at the AI?
Um, yeah, what you were saying there about having it booked into our CRM, it doesn't have to be via calendar link. I think we'd like to start with the calendar link just so we can sync it to one person's calendar or whatever, right? But you do have the option to, I mean, can you book it into a dialer, for example?
Yeah, absolutely. It's quite easy for us to do that.
Okay. All right. And do you think it's too early to ask for a callback, like so early on? It's only a couple of messages. Like, what have you found that to work?
It does work. We can add in more, but the sweet spot is typically between 2 and 3 messages that we send. All we're really looking to do today is just kind of show you a bit of an example conversation.
Okay. Yeah. So it can qualify as well in a way.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. How do we train this? Because my business has kind of bespoke solar panel packages and it also sells to businesses and commercial solar as well. Like, how do we account for that? Like, can it read our website or FAQs or whatever and figure out how to answer according to our business in a bespoke manner?
So we can train it for you. And what we would do is ask for like a sample of some FAQs. But at the end of the day, what we don't want it to be doing is answering absolutely every single question. We want it to be booking calls. So if it does start asking questions about, if someone did start asking questions about pricing or the differences to solar panels, we believe that's best for a salesperson to be answering that. So we're just
Okay.
always going to default to getting the AI to attempt them to book in for a phone call.
All right, cool. The other question I've got is, I mean, it looks great, but like Sarah is the person messaging here.
Mm.
I haven't got a Sarah in my call center. Like, what do you do there?
Well, we can change the name to anything you want it to be. If you feel more comfortable using a real person's name, we can go with that. If not, leave it as Sarah because if someone does call in, ask saying that they've spoken to Sarah, at least your team knows what that lead is referring to.
Yeah, okay. All right, makes sense. All right, let me try and break it.
Go for it.
Well, good news is it can help you reduce these costs, sure to beat any market rate out there. Um, do you offer finance?
Absolutely. We do offer a range of finance options that make switching to solar more affordable. And advisors can go over these with you in detail. Shall we set up a time for a call to explore your options?
What happens if we don't offer finance?
We can train the AI to basically say, no, we don't offer finance, or we can just say to the AI to try and book them in for a phone call. It's still a
Okay,
potential sale.
okay. And we get a lot of people coming in thinking they can get solar for 0% because a lot of the lead gens out there are doing zero money down solar and stuff like that. Can I ask that question?
Yeah.
Is there any government rebates available with your solar panels?
Oops, spelt there wrong. Government incentives can certainly make a difference. Our advisors are up to speed on all the latest rebates and can fill you in on what's available. Would you like to book a call back and to
Nice.
get all the specifics?
Okay. Can I get a bit angry now?
Yeah, absolutely.
Um, Stop being so vague with your answers. Tell me what the bloody prices are. We get a lot of people that just it's quite rude to my staff and stuff like that because we deal with a lot of people, right?
Yeah,
Must be
you'll get that
interesting.
when you message, any number of people. Doesn't matter what industry you're in, you're bound to get a few people who, are a little bit upset by it.
Okay.
So it's still processing right now. And it goes, I understand wanting to get straight to the figures. I'm here to help ensure you get directed as someone who can provide a detailed breakdown of the costs. So what we do is we actually train it with some objection handling. And this is what it's
Okay.
trying to do right now. It's trying to empathize with how you're feeling. And then it's trying to direct it to the action we want it to, the lead to do, which is to book that call.
Interesting. Okay. And I just ask, I've got a north facing home. I didn't think that solar panels can be fitted on a north facing home or something like that. Yeah. Is that true? Yeah.
North-facing roofs can still be suitable for solar panels, although the specifics can get a bit technical depending on your exact situation. It's best to have one of our advisors take a look and give you tailored advice. Want to go ahead and book in a call back. What I would like you to
Nice.
do is pay attention to how it's being vague. So it is saying certainly, but it is saying it in the same sentence, although the specifics can get a bit technical depending on your exact situation. So it's not exactly a yes there.
Yeah.
And it's saying it's best to have one of our advisors take a look and give you tailored advice. Want to go ahead,
Mm,
book in a call back. So what
mm.
it's doing is it's keeping the person still interested. It's being vague, so it's never promising anything specific, and it's still going for that callback. As we mentioned earlier, these types of questions, we always train the AI to push for that callback.
Yeah. Okay. All right, cool. And can it do instant, like, because a lot of the times we've found that if we get back to a lead quickly, then it's a much higher chance of closing. Like, how can you help us with that?
Yeah, absolutely. What we would suggest that you do is you can you can basically attach this to all your live leads coming through. Um, and the AI will work straight away, reaching out to them, contacting them. If they're not responding, it will follow up, independently of itself, because some people might miss that first message. So it'll follow up with them as well periodically over a few days. What we
Yeah.
then do is we're then just, or what the AI is doing is it's then basically grading who's responsive and who's not responsive. And a lot of our clients find that information useful because they know who to be targeting with phone calls and who can be left at the bottom of that pile.
Okay. Well, mate, it looks good, but like, how much is this going to cost, right? Like, I have to know whether or not this is going to be worth my while because there's obviously SMS costs, and I can't afford like 10K for a build, or what are we looking at here?
Yeah, no, I get that. So all we ask is for you to cover the SMS costs, and we do this on a performance basis. And what I mean by that is you would give us leads, initially at least, you'd give us your leads, which your sales team have dialed to death, whether that's from a month ago, whether it's from a year or 2 years ago, and anything that which we would then find a sale in for, all we're looking for is about 50% of the profit from that sale.
50%, right? Like,
Yeah.
what do you mean by profit?
So what I mean by profit is the net profit. So after all your costs, obviously installation, commission, needs to go into it. We're just looking at that net profit.
Okay.
We're looking to share in that with you. We want this to be found money for you and not an expense. So
Mhm.
really, there is no risk to this. It's us putting in a lot of our own time, a lot of our own money, building this out. We wouldn't be wasting our time doing this unless we were confident that this would work for you.
Yeah. Okay. Well, actually, that's a great offer. How long does it take to get set up? And what do we
So
do from here?
so it takes up to 2 weeks to get started. It depends really on how fast you are looking to get going with this. It sounds like you're interested. Do you have like a development team and are they willing to take
Yep.
action straight away?
Yep. Yep. They're really good. He's my right-hand man. He's super fast.
Okay, brilliant. Well, we could definitely get that set up within 2 weeks. Um, all we'd need from you is just a little understanding on, what CRM you're using. How we typically do this is we manage this, the conversations, and we then just update your CRM, just to show which leads are responsive, which leads want callbacks on certain days. It means that your staff don't have to learn a new system. They can just work on the system that you're using already, and we're just going to give you those updates.
Nice. Okay. All right. That's demo over, Jamie. Well done, mate. Um, Thank you so much for your help today. Is there anything else to add, or are we pretty much there?
I think that's it. Yeah, no problem.
All right, mate. I'll let you go.
All right, take care.
Thanks, buddy. Take care. Bye bye. Okay, I hope you enjoyed my little demo there with a make-believe client. I promise you, if you do the same and do it in a real-life environment with clients and they see the power of the Sleeping Beauty Android at work, you're going to absolutely close almost 100% of the clients that you show this to. Okay, so please do sell before you build. Sell before you build. I promise you that is the catchphrase for today. All right, so I'm sat here with Graham. How you going, mate?
Not too bad, not too bad.
Graham is what I like to think is one of the top AI marketing experts in the world. He is, I promise you that much. I don't know about his dress sense and his jumper that he's got on today.
Yep.
All right. I just had to drop that one in there. All right. All right. So where are we going to start, Graham?
Right, so basically what we're going to do today is just go through HighLevel, show you the power that it has and how you can kind of set it up ready for the build, because there's a few things that we have to do inside HighLevel to get it ready. Okay. So the first thing we want to go and do is we want to go in your agency settings. So you've got no sub-account selected.
Yeah.
And you want to go down to settings.
Yeah.
And you want to go to phone integration. So this is where you want to select the lead connector phone system. Now we've already connected it. So I can't go back and show you exactly, but you just got to click on the LC connector and just confirm, and then that will basically do it all for you. And then that is connected to your whole account. And that's all you have to do, and you should see a screen like this. Right. If you have any issues with this, go into the school group, AI Automation Agency Ninjas. There'll be a link just in the top left, and tag me, Graham Connolly, in there, and I can help you out if you have any issues with that. Okay.
All right, cool.
So next we want to go to the sub account that we built in day one, which we've got open here, which is the Sleeping Beauty demo.
Yep.
So we've just freshly uploaded our snapshot in here. We've done no extra work. So this is kind of what you're going to be working in. This is, say, for example, like kind of like your sub account that you'd be working in with the Sleeping Beauty Android. So you have a lot of information and options down this left-hand side bar.
Can I just jump in quickly,
Yep.
Graham? So what are we trying to achieve today in this video? I should have said this before. Right? What's the two outcomes? We want to show you the power of HighLevel, and we also want to have some custom values added in, so you're kind of good to go for tomorrow. Right?
Exactly that, yeah.
Okay.
It's just getting you comfortable with the software, because it's very hard to jump into a new software with no explanation at all.
Yeah.
So it's just going to be a quick little overview of how each thing works.
Yeah.
So you've got the dashboard here, so you can set up reports. We don't really use the dashboard that much. It's more in the opportunity side we use, which we'll come on to in a sec. Conversations, and so when you start having people message back, you'll start seeing the conversations in here, so you can monitor them there.
So for clarity, if we are with our Sleeping Beauty Android, right, the way that we get people to respond is we send out a hand raiser SMS. It's called the Prince Charming SMS. And what happens is people respond to that. As soon as they respond, you'll see it in the conversations tab, and then you can literally watch the conversations going back and forth with AI. It's very cool. I spend time here just kind of watching how awesome this is. So yeah, there we go.
Exactly that. Now in the Sleeping Beauty Android, the aim of the bot is to drop a calendar link so someone can book in for a call so they can get a call back to discuss whatever product your client's selling.
But basically, it's an appointment setting bot, right? So we go after an old database, we send out the hand raiser SMS, the Prince Charming. The bot goes back and forth, asks a question, like I just showed you on the demo, and then books someone into the calendar, right? So what I just showed you in the demo is what we're showing you how to do in real life here, if that makes sense. Right?
Yeah.
So we're booking people into an appointment.
Exactly that. And the beauty with HighLevel, they have an inbuilt calendar functionality. So you don't need Calendly, schedule once, any outside calendar. It's all included inside HighLevel.
Yep.
So we go into the calendar here. We can go into calendar settings, but before we do that, we're going to want to link up your Google Calendar, which you can do in settings in the sub account. And then you go down to integrations, and there'll be a Google bit here.
Yep.
So you just got to sign in with Google. Whichever account you want to use. We'll use Dan's. Press continue, press allow, and then that should just link it that easily.
Okay, so when the people are setting, when the guys and girls are setting this up, are they linking it to their own personal calendar for the test, right?
For the test, yeah.
Yeah, but when they've got to land a client, they'll link it to their client's calendar.
Exactly
correct?
that, yeah.
Okay, cool. So you want to get this up and running and tested, within your own agency to begin with, and then once you've got that confidence, you can move it over to clients.
Yep. So now I'm going to go back to the calendar settings here and here.
Yep.
We'll click on that. So there is a calendar in the snapshot for you. You will want to go in and amend it though, and do it for yourself. So you just want to go press those three dots and press edit.
Yeah.
And then you just want to go through. So you want to maybe change the calendar name, update the description. So you may want a 45-minute call, a 15-minute call.
Yep.
That's up to you. You may want to change the meeting invite title. That's what's going to show up in the calendar of the person that's booked in.
So the consumer, right?
Yep.
Let's say we're running this for a solar panels offer for our solar panels client. Someone's coming in and booking an appointment with a solar panel company. So that will say this is what that individual consumer will see, right? When it's booked into their calendar.
Exactly that. Meeting location. So if it's just going to be a phone call, you can leave that blank. But if it's going to be something on Zoom or Google Meet or something like that, Teams, you'll want to put that link in here so it will get sent across to the client. But most of the time it's going to be a phone call. So you can leave that blank if that's the case. And you want to go and press save, and it should go on to the next bit. Availability. So here's where you want to put in when you're available for a call or when your client's available for a call. Normally it would be within working hours. So it's defaulted to Monday to Friday, 9 to 5.
Yep.
If you want to change it, you can say change to 10 a.m. here, press OK. And if you want that to be applied to every single day, which makes it a bit quicker if you just press copy to the days that you're open. So for example, just like that, and that will change it quite quickly.
Nice.
You want to leave probably recurring meeting off because these aren't going to be recurring normally. And then you want to get into kind of changing these depending on what the calls are going to entail. So the meeting duration, that's going to be the length of the call.
Yeah.
The meeting interval. So if you've ever used the calendar before, you'll have options of when to book in. So if it says 30 minutes, that means you'll get the option to book in at 12 p.m., 12:30, 1. If you change it to 15 minutes, it'll be 12, 12, 15, 12:30, 12:45, 1, so on and so forth. The date range. So this allows you to book up to 6 days after the fact. So in the next 6 days, you could book a meeting.
Yeah.
If we brought that down to 4, it's only 4 days. Bear in mind that if you leave it open too much, so say 28 days, and someone books 28 days in advance, the likelihood of them showing is going to be less. So you want to keep it around the 4 to 6 days is a nice sweet point.
Your client will probably be giving you some feedback on this as well, but you want to try and get the appointments booked in quickly. so people show up. Obviously, show up percentage is very important.
And the minimum scheduling notice is quite important as well. So this means that people can't book in 4 hours from now, basically. So you can bring that down, but you need to give the client a bit of time normally when you're booking in an appointment to be able to call them back. So you can play with that. We normally have it on 4 hours. And then we leave the other empty, maximum bookings per slot, normally 1.
Okay, cool.
So we'll save that. And then we go on to forms and payment. So the default form is just first name, last name, email, and phone, which is normally fine. You've already got all the details. You're just trying to reactivate them and get them back onto a call. So that should be fine. There's a consent box there, which I'd probably just leave on.
Yeah.
So you can adhere to any compliance. And the confirmation page, you can create a thank you page, but at the moment we just have a default message saying thank you for your appointment request, etc. This is just the basic high-level template, which you can personalize for yourself. And we leave on auto confirm new calendar meetings. And then we'll go through. And we go on to the notifications and additional options. So you can change this. So there's an acknowledgement email there. You can take this off because Google Calendar does send a notification as well.
Okay.
So that is up to you if you want to get a double.
So this is when someone's booked in, they get an email confirming that the appointment's booked in. But if you're using a calendar system that you're integrating with that doesn't do that, then you might want to keep that in as well. Otherwise, at the moment, I take it if you keep it selected, then they'll get 2 emails.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
And then this could end up doing a third if you said allow Google Calendar to send an invitation as well.
Okay.
So you only want one or the other really.
Yeah.
Of these. And then also we always allow reschedule or cancelling the link, which is in the additional notes of the meeting invite, which is basically what's in their calendar.
Yeah.
So not much really to do there. So this is the connections part next coming up. This is where you link your calendar. So we've just linked Dan's. So you want to link your main calendar, which is normally your email address or your client's email address.
Yeah.
And then we can do two-way and then press save. And then customizations, it's up to you. It's just changing the look. Completely up to you if you want to go and do that. You can change the colors, all that kind of stuff. And in saving that, that's your calendar done and it's all good. And just while we're here, we want to get that link as well. So you'd go and get that link by clicking on these 3 buttons next to the calendar. You'd go and press share and you get like a link here. So I'm going to go for the permanent link.
What's the difference between the scheduling and the permanent?
So the scheduling link is determined by the slug.
Right.
Whereas the permanent is just, that's your permanent link and it can't change.
Is that the one that you can just keep as a short link or something to see what your calendar's? Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool.
So we're just going to copy that. And just while we're here, we're going to go into custom values in the settings section on the left. And we're going to go find the calendar link. And we're just going to paste that in there.
Okay. So, sorry, what are your custom values and pasting? Okay. So now you've integrated the calendar. And why are you adding this into the custom link?
Because we use this in some of the emails, this custom value dynamic field. Okay. It just makes it easier for you. So you don't have to go in and check every single email in the workflows and add that link in.
All right, cool.
It just makes it a bit easier for you. Okay, so that's done. So we set up the calendar, that's all done.
Yep.
In the contact section, this is where you're going to see all your contacts. So yeah, this is going to be all your contacts in here. Yeah. It's brought through all of the contacts in your Google Calendar. That's why there's so many in there.
Okay, so what will most people see here?
So depending on what's in your Google Calendar, you may see a few people from your Google Calendar in here, but normally you wouldn't see any contact in here at the moment.
All right. So would you just delete these out now?
Yeah, I would just delete these all out. Delete contacts. So in here, you can look at smart lists, so you can segment your contacts. So you'll see under all, there'll be loads of contacts there, but you can go into more filters and you can segment it on things like tag, what opportunity status they're on, which we'll come on to in just a sec. And then you can save it as a list and they'll all appear along this thing here. We won't do that now because we haven't got any contacts in there, but that's something you can do. Now down here, this is quite an important part. This is our pipeline. This is an inbuilt pipeline into the bot of your snapshot. So it will automatically, your leads will go through this pipeline now. Now what a pipeline is, it's basically everyone comes into this start point here, which is message, no response. If they reply within the workflow, they're going to get moved automatically along the pipeline until they end up at ultimately the goal, which is booking an appointment, sending to the client.
Yeah. So this is really handy. I always log in here and check out how our campaigns are going, because we generally see, out of 100 messages sent, then roughly 30% of them will be moved across to the lead responded column, and then a percentage of those will go into lead qualified, and then a further percentage of those will go on to booked appointment, right? So it's a really good way to monitor how well things are going. But it's also, what I've found is really great to kind of do a quick loom of this and send it to your potential clients as well, and show them some of the conversations and all what this looks like. After you've got some live case studies, it just converts clients like crazy. Just a little tip, okay?
Yep.
All right.
And you can amend this pipeline or add pipelines in this area here. So you can create a new pipeline, or you can edit this one and add in new stages. I wouldn't recommend doing that because it's been set up for this bot. So yeah, that's how that works.
I think, there's so much cool stuff that you can do with HighLevel. For example, you can do, like, we're not going to talk about it in this training, but you can ask a lead if they want to call back now, and then you can basically hotkey, if they want a phone call, that lead straight over to your client and have a call whisper so they pick up the phone and speak to them directly, all right, which is way better than kind of booking an appointment from 2 hours from now. This is the kind of power that HighLevel has. But for now, we've given you kind of enough to get started and get great results. But as you get better and more comfortable with the platform, you'll be able to start adding these added layers in, which are just going to blow your clients and partners away.
Yeah.
All right.
So next up, we don't really use payments. Marketing, just to show you what's in here. This offers like loads of other stuff. So there's a social plan, a bit like Hootsuite. You can do email broadcasts in here. So there's HighLevel just does so much stuff all in one tool. It's incredible, really.
Yeah.
Now automation, this is where you're going to be spending quite a bit of your time. This is basically how we automate the bot. So just to go through, this is the Sleeping Beauty Android. This is what powers it.
Yeah.
So GPT conversations start. This is the first workflow that they get added into.
Yeah. The prospect when they reply to the first message.
No, you add them in. You add them in. So say you'd get a CSV file from your client of old leads that need to be re-engaged.
Yeah.
You add them to this workflow.
Okay.
It will make sure, just in case, they get removed from all the workflows of the bot at the start, so it doesn't break.
Yeah.
Then they'll get this first message, which is a custom value, which we'll show you in a sec.
So just to recap, right, like when you're having coffee dates with clients and you're showing them what this looks like, the next thing you want to do is get hold of a CSV file of all of their old leads with their phone numbers, right? And then you can upload them into here, right? Yep. Into here. And this is where, we'll show you how to do this, but this is where the engine starts, I guess. All right.
So this is your first message. This is being sent out by HighLevel. So this is the hand raiser. This is the first of the double tap. It sends them a message, and we're basically trying to get a reply from them. So this is where
it's the Prince Charming SMS.
Yeah, the Prince Charming SMS. It's a double pronged.
Yeah.
This is where they get added to the opportunity pipeline.
Yeah.
So the first stage of the pipeline, they get added there.
Yeah.
Then we have a custom value inside their contact form, which gets updated with every bit of conversation they have. So by the end of the conversation, you'll be able to easily see the conversation for one, and easily be able to send it over to a client if they so wish to see it, which can help with the sales process on the call. They know what's been spoken about, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Chat note is another, just adds a note to their file of what's been said. And then there's a wait for reply. So this is where we're waiting for their reply. So they've been sent the message, we're waiting for a reply. When they do reply, they're going to go down this route, the yes route. Did the contact reply? If after an hour and a half they haven't replied, they're going to get pushed on and go down this route where we try and bump them basically and send bump messages.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go down the bump route first. So they haven't replied after an hour and a half. We wait for working hours, make sure it's not outside of working hours. Then they get sent a basic bump message. You can amend these to suit yourself. We just have a few templates in there, which is this a money thing? Update the AI conversation again, which is the custom field. So you don't need to change any of this at the moment, apart from maybe
Apart
the
from
messaging.
the bump messages, yeah. So, like as I was saying before in the opportunities tab, remember where I said 30% of the people respond to the Prince Charming SMS, that first one? It's actually not that high, usually out of the gate. But what happens if these bump messages come after an hour and a half, and they kind of are designed to get people to reply, and that's when it bumps from 20 to 30% with these bump messages, okay? Because we don't want to forget about the lead.
Yep.
We want to try the best we can to engage it and get it booked into an appointment. And we've all got this all pre-built. We've sent God knows how many SMSs trying to figure this stuff out. It's probably getting close to maybe the millions. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, but a lot, right? So
Yeah.
there's some real value and experience that have added to this bump messages and the whole process that Graham's explaining right now.
Yeah.
All right.
Then we get on to the wait for reply again to the bump message. This will time out after an hour.
Yeah.
So if they do reply, they get added back into this branch here, which is they did reply.
Yeah.
But we'll update their lead response, which is going to be important to send over to ChatGPT to analyze and then respond back.
Don't worry too much about all that for now. But yeah.
And then it follows on the bump message again, and it repeats until they get a no response.
The only thing they have to worry about is changing the bump messages just now.
Yes.
This is pre-built for you, so it's pretty much plug and play. All right.
Yeah.
But it's good for you to have an understanding of what's happening.
Cool. So let's go down the yes route now. So here you'll have again the lead response, which will help with the bots and what ChatGPT can respond to, and it's got their last message that they responded to. Again, updating the lead conversation, building you a big conversation string, so you have all that data inside HighLevel. And then there's a tag, reply to the first double tap, so you kind of can segment them out inside the contact field on this. If you just wanted to see people who have replied, you can segment that out, as I showed you before in a smart list.
By the way, we called the Prince Charming the double tap way back in the day, and I think it's been pulled through here. So whenever we're mentioning the double tap, just think of it as the Prince Charming, okay?
Yeah.
All right.
Then we send it to ChatGPT, which is a webhook, which is a custom value. Now, that basically webhooks the data out into Zapier, and that's what we're going to be doing tomorrow, which is basically the glue between HighLevel and ChatGPT, and that's basically what allows ChatGPT to have this conversation with the lead, basically. But that's a custom value, so we'll add that in tomorrow. Then it gets added to the lead responded stage of the pipeline. So that's the next stage of the pipeline. So it will move from the first to the second. And then we have to wait until ChatGPT has responded. Now what this is, it's just waiting for the field ChatGPT to become full. Because what happens is Zapier sends the response to ChatGPT. ChatGPT will formulate a response, and that will get added to this custom field inside HighLevel, which is ChatGPT. So that's what we're waiting for to happen. And then once that does happen, it carries on and it sends it as an SMS. And you can see that's the custom field that it sends out.
Yeah. So in layman's terms, what's happening, right, is we send the Prince Charming SMS, all right? If they get back and respond, then as you can see in this workflow, it goes up to the yes workflow. And what happens then is we want to send that message over to OpenAI and ChatGPT, and then we get it sent back to us. So this all happens like super fast, right? And that way the Sleeping Beauty takes over, and it's one role based on the prompt that we showed you on the demo is what allows this whole system to work, and the Android to book the lead into an appointment. Okay, that's clear. It's pretty. Like, don't get bothered too much with like all of the details here. It's a pretty simple process, and there's not too much you have to change. Okay.
Yeah. So this none route after here, it's just in case that ChatGPT is empty, and we'll have to wait again until that kind of like updates. So ignore all this down here. This is all sorted. You don't need to touch it. Don't need to look at it. It's just to make sure that ChatGPT is full, basically.
Yep.
So we'll go on the yes route. So it gets sent as an SMS to them, ChatGPT's response. Again, we update the conversation in HighLevel. So we're constantly updating that conversation, so you get all that data. And then we're waiting for that contact reply again. When they do reply, they get moved on to the next stage, which again updates the conversation. We save the lead response. We then empty the ChatGPT field so it doesn't remember what ChatGPT has said. And then we add it to the next workflow, which is this one. And basically this is what it loops round. So then it goes into ChatGPT 2, which once that's done, it sends to ChatGPT 3 to 4 to 5, then back to 2. So this is where it starts looping, so you can have a continuous conversation. We do it with 5 because we found that was the best way to be able to troubleshoot where things were going wrong. If you just did it, you could just do it with 2, but sometimes they were going through too quickly and issues were happening. 5 was the sweet spot, basically.
Yeah. So this, some of you might know that like HighLevel at the moment has a native integration, ChatGPT native integration, but it's like kind of 10% of what we're showing you here, maybe a bit higher than 10%, right? But it just doesn't have the functionality to be able to do what we're teaching, like this stuff that Graham's putting together is doing. Okay.
Yeah,
But
it's getting better every day, but there's a lot of barriers in the way when doing that, whereas this is just completely like you can do whatever you want.
yeah, it's much more flexible. All right.
So again, just to show, I'm just going to show you GPT-2 because GPT-3, 4, and 5 are exactly the same as each other. So it sends it to ChatGPT again via this webhook. So you only have to change this webhook in one place in the custom values, which we're going to show you in a sec. But yeah, it just goes to that webhook again, and it will just cyclically do that while the conversation is going. It'll wait for GPT to respond, and again, very similar to the last one, it will send the message out via the custom field, which is now changed. Update the conversation, wait for a reply, update the conversation again, save the lead response, and so on. So that's basically how these workflows tie in together to build the Android. There's 2 other workflows I have to show you. This is one in our Android. We try and make them say delete if they stop having messages. We don't like them saying the word stop because that applies to the opt-out. Delete doesn't. So we've set up this for you. If they reply delete, it will D&D them, so you will stop texting them, basically.
This was a huge breakthrough for us, okay, because we started working with clients with big old databases, and our students have done this as well. They send 1,000 SMSs out to 1,000 leads, and they'll get 30% saying stop, and that immediately burns your number. So we had to figure out a way to kind of get around this thing. Otherwise, our whole system kind of wouldn't work. So we've done it in a compliant way that allows people to opt out, but it doesn't trigger the spam bots, and it's actually a huge breakthrough and a little bit of genius by the guys.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, and that's all set up for you. You don't have to change any of this. I'm just letting you know that that's how it works. So it will automatically make sure that they're on the D&D list, which is do not disturb.
Yeah.
I don't know if it stands for that, but I'm guessing it does.
Yeah.
And it removes them from the Android. So that's that one.
So they won't get SMS'd again or contacted again.
No.
Right. Because a lot of people also ask to stop as well later on in the conversations. Does that capture them too?
Yeah.
Yeah. There we go. Cool.
So here is where we send the calendar link. So you're going through, so basically we'll show you this in the prompt. I think Dan's may have already shown it to you.
Yeah.
So basically the idea is that we want to get through a conversation, qualify them, make sure they're okay, and then send them this calendar link. When the calendar link is sent, so basically this will trigger every time the custom field ChatGPT has changed. And then we have a kind of like a condition here asking, do they qualify? If they do qualify, ChatGPT has to contain your calendar link. And when it does, they know that they've been qualified and sent the appointment booking link. When that happens, they'll go down this side of the branch. They'll get tagged with schedule. They'll be moved to the next part of the opportunity status, which is lead qualified. And then you'll get a notification to yourself, which is saying that they've qualified. Now you're going to want to change these values to whatever you have. So your name, your email address, and the email address you want to receive the notification. This isn't sent to your client yet. This is just letting you know that there's been a calendar link dropped. And then maybe you can go in and just double check to see if they've moved and booked an appointment. If not, you can maybe manually.
So this is like a fail safe for if you're working with your first client, right? Their appointments are coming in, you're away from your computer and you've got your phone available and you start seeing appointments coming in. It means that things are working and you should go back and maybe check your calendar, your HighLevel to see if things are going well, okay?
So these won't be appointments. These are just links that have been sent out, so they've been qualified.
Yeah.
So it's just worth trying to maybe have a look, see people in that kind of opportunity column.
Yeah.
And if they haven't made an appointment, maybe go in and manually try and push them, because
I see.
yeah,
I see. Okay.
all appointments are going to be important to you and your client.
Yeah.
So that's all of the Sleeping Beauty Android. I've got one for the appointment workflow, which is what Dan's just touched on, which is when they do book an appointment. This has been set up for your calendar that we gave you. So when someone books into that calendar, this will trigger this workflow. They'll get added with the tag appointment booked.
Yeah.
There'll be an internal notification, but this is where you send an email to your client, just to let them know as a fail-safe, as well as that that appointment booked.
Yeah.
So you put your name, your email, then you put your client's email in here, and it will send them new appointment booked, contact name, just to make sure that they're getting those notifications.
Yeah. Okay. So I messed up before. The last one you showed us was for people that were, remember, it was the third column in the opportunities tab, wasn't it? Where people are qualified but not quite booked for an appointment.
Yep.
And Graham's set it up so you can get a notification internally to your email that says you're almost there. You know, it's time to go and work on them, or kind of see whether everything's working okay to move them to the next level. And the one you just showed me then is what the client gets whenever an appointment is booked into their calendar.
Yep.
And you can actually set up an internal notification and stuff as well.
Yep.
But of course, you know, they're going to get notified by their calendar provider as well, aren't they?
Yeah.
So it's just really more of a fail-safe. It's really nice to be able to watch this happening and the client's email getting pinged when good stuff's happening.
And if you want to do an SMS to the client as well, you can also do another.
All right. So you can notify them with an SMS as well as email.
Yeah.
Cool.
So it'd be exactly the same, and you can copy the message from there. We're not going to add that in. We just got an email, but you can do that though.
So we've got our office dog here who's not very well trained.
She's very well trained.
All right.
Cool. So that's that. So there's a test webhook there, but we'll come on to that tomorrow.
Yeah.
Quickly glaze over these because there's a few videos on this that you can see. In Sites, this is where you can build funnels on websites. We have a bonus video at the end of the 3-day trial that will show you exactly how to create the site. We've given you a template for an AI automation agency website. All the copies written for you, just a few little tweaks that you have to do.
Yeah.
And that video shows you exactly how to do that. You can create forms and surveys here. It's crazy. It's basically like you can have your own ClickFunnels or Unbounce inside HighLevel for the same price.
Yeah.
It really is like a one-stop shop, basically. All this stuff you're not really going to use. You can build courses in here, all that kind of stuff, but we're not going to use that in this challenge. In the settings section, so there's a few important bits to note. If you are in America, you are going to have to fill out A2P compliance for your phone number.
Yep.
And the first part of that A2P compliance is to make sure your business profile settings is fully updated with all your legal names, your EIN numbers. If you're doing business in the US, in the UK, then you'll need your UK company registration number, and so forth.
So have you got clients in the US and you're in the UK?
Yeah.
Which is quite common, actually. So
it is, yeah.
A2P, we've got a whole, we've done a YouTube video on that, right? So for verification and everything.
Yes.
So we'll put that inside the description box below for your reference when you need it, and you will need it, trust me.
Yes. So you want to do this and make sure this is all filled out with an authorized representative, all your business information, and your regions of operations, and things like that. In the general section, here you can see a few things. So if you've got a Facebook page connected to your HighLevel, you can merge Facebook contacts by name, which you may want to check. All the other stuff you don't necessarily need. You can mark emails as invalid due to a hard bounce. We normally just have this one on, and we normally don't have these on actually, because in our messages we actually do say who we're from, and we probably put in something like reply delete to unsubscribe, as we alluded to before.
Yeah. So it's up to you. Like, we're not going to give you kind of legal advice and stuff like that on compliance with SMS. You need to run that past your clients. They're the ones that are ultimately responsible, because they're the ones that are sending them SMSs on behalf of their business. Okay.
Yeah.
We tend to take them off because our clients are comfortable taking that risk. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So that's all of that. You want to make sure this is off. Do not turn this on because the bot will break if you allow duplicate contacts. The whole point is that it's constantly updating the contact with new ChatGPT records to send out.
Yep.
That's that. Obviously, pipelines, I've shown you pipelines. Your staff, you can add team members to manage this sub account alone. Say, if a client wanted to be inside here, you can add them in, but also control what they see. So, for example, you can add in their name, whatever their name is, blah, 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 blah. And then you go to user permissions.
Yeah.
And then you can uncheck loads of this stuff so they can't see too much. Ideally, you just show them only assigned data. Will visually remove things like contacts, opportunities, conversations if they were not assigned. So basically, you can just assign the leads that have qualified, so then they can see the conversations. Because what we find sometimes, if you allow clients in here, they'll look at all the messages and then ask you loads of questions. It's basically not worth the time.
But it's also good to have them in there. So what we've found with clients sometimes is that they're so blown away by what we're showing them. There's also an opportunity for them to come in and watch some of these conversations happen, perhaps, and give the customer or the potential client a call right at the correct time, and they can just close them and call them and close them on the spot there. So depends what type of client you have and how proactive they are, but we have found this is quite valuable. So please do consider it once you get flying with your Sleeping Beauty Android.
Yeah, exactly that. Email services, here you can add a dedicated domain for your client. It's not necessary with what we're doing because we'd send it out in basically SMSs.
Yeah.
Something you can do if you so wish. If you do want to do that, we have got a video on email best practices in HighLevel, so you can have a look at that, which will be in the description as well.
Yep.
Now, phone numbers is very important. You will need to add a phone number in here for everything to work, and it's very simple to do. You just go add phone number up here. You'd select the country that you want it in. We'd probably do UK. We'd pick a mobile number, which would be one of these. So you'd select it here and just press proceed to buy. I'm not going to buy this now because we don't need the number in this account, but you would proceed to buy. Actually, we're going to have a number to test it anyway.
Okay, all right, so he's buying one. So if you're in America, this is where A2P comes in, right?
Yep, so you do exactly the same thing in America. You'd pick United States, you'd pick the number that you want.
Yeah.
And then what you'd want to go and do is you'd want to go up to the Trust Center, which is where you can set up your A2P messaging. As we said, we're not going to show you how to do that in this video, but we do have a video in the description, which is specifically for A2P.
And the reason why we could buy that UK number is because you don't need A2P in the UK, although probably something that's coming eventually.
I'm sure it's coming, yeah. So finally, the domain section, you can add a domain here, but again, that's in the agency website video. So check that out if you want to add a domain.
Yep.
Down here, tags, you can add in tags here. So
Would you ever want to put the domain of the client in there if it's their sub account?
Possibly, it depends what the client wants.
Yeah.
But that all depends on that.
I tend to probably steer clear of it, really. Your job is just to send them appointments and close them sales via SMS, so I wouldn't get too fancy with things. There's no need.
Yep. So tags, you can change tags in there. Custom fields, this is what it shows up in their contact profile. Obviously, you can add in ones that you want, but you've got all the custom fields that you need for the bot in there already. Now, custom values, here's where you will want to go in and amend some of it. So you're going to want to add in your agency name, like so.
So this is when you're testing your own version, right? But if you're doing it for your client, you would add your client's name.
Yeah, correct, yeah. And then in the Android name, so this is what you name your Android. Ours are normally called Sarah. So it's like, hey, this is Sarah from Flexxable.
Yeah.
So in here, we pop in Sarah, but you can pick whatever name you want. It's just quite like a normal name. Yeah.
Because just to explain things right, when the consumer starts getting SMSs back and forth, they don't actually know they're chatting to AI. So we say Sarah, right? And then Sarah is the one that is the admin of the business that books the prospect into an appointment with one of their sales team, right?
Yeah.
So Sarah isn't really designed to speak to the client on those calls. She's just the admin that's getting back and forth, if that makes sense, and it works really well.
Yep.
All right.
So then actually the next one, this is where you put your client's name in here. Sorry, that's the agency name is your name.
Yep.
This is the client's name, the business name here.
Yep.
So say we're kind of like doing this for Solar, so we'll be like Solar Limited.
Yep.
That's the name of the client. And then if they have a business website, you can add your client's website in here as well. Edit custom value, and it'll be something like this. We've added in the calendar link.
Why do we have to add all of these details in about the business? Is it just nice to have so when you can?
It's just nice to have to use. Some of these things will be used in the outgoing message as well.
Oh yeah.
So it's just a bit easier just to
get it right.
Get it right, so you don't have to change it in loads of different places. So the first outgoing message, this is going to be the Prince Charming SMS, which will give you a Google Doc. These give you ideas for bump messages you can use, and then this is the first outgoing message we use. And we'll copy this in here.
And by the way, this message that you're seeing here is probably single-handedly the most important thing in the whole business model, the whole challenge that we're speaking to you. This SMS that we're giving you gets responses, right? You can try and send other stuff as well, but this one just works. Combined with the response after the person gets back, it's gold, right? This is what makes all of the difference. So please get this right when you're copy and pasting it over.
Yeah,
all right?
Exactly that. And here, so like this is, you use the custom values Android name, which you can see is here, which will be Sarah.
Yeah.
You don't have to use these custom values. You can just write Sarah in there. I just find it helps using these sometimes.
Yeah.
Then you're going to want to add in your client's name. So you can either hard type it in like this, Solar Limited, or you can use this custom value business underscore name.
Yeah.
And it's going to ask, is this the same contact first name? So leave that in. That's using the contact's first name.
Yeah.
And then it'll be who wanted help with their. Then you want to add in the client's service. So you can just type in, for us, it'd be solar panels. So you wanted to amend this for your own niche.
So if you wanted to help with the solar panels, or who asked for a quote for their solar panels, you just kind of tweak that a little bit to suit the the offer.
Exactly that.
Right.
With their solar panels back in the last few months.
Yeah.
Update that. And then industry type, you can just pop this in, solar.
Yeah.
And then it's just the webhook, which we're going to do tomorrow. So we can update that tomorrow.
Cool.
But once you've updated all of these, then your workflows are pretty much good to go. We just got to do the Zapier stuff tomorrow, and then your bot's going to be built.
Cool. So I think that's kind of about it, isn't it? Our office dog, Phoebe, come up here.
Girl.
So yeah, I just wanted to say thank you for watching today, and I guess we'll see you in tomorrow's challenge, which is day 3 of the challenge tomorrow.
Yeah.
Catch you later.
Cheers, guys.